Hello there. It's good to be with you this afternoon. I wanted to bring you an extra little something right now before the holidays. Well, it's actually during the holidays. Let me rephrase that. But before Christmas, last week we did a show with holiday gift giving ideas, but we had more that we wanted to expand upon. And for today, I really have been wanting to have my friend Jessica on anyway to talk about her product called reVessel. So we decided we would just do a short show to talk about reVessel and what it is and why it's important. So I'm going to bring her on in just a moment. But first, let me remind you of two other things. Whoops, let me do this instead. Sorry. There is the From Table to Temple event happening April 24th and 25th of April. Yeah, April 24th and 25th of 2026. Excuse me. I've got dogs playing in the background and stuff going on the stove. I'm a little distracted. Anyway, this makes a great Christmas gift. And the early bird pricing ends the 31st of December. So you might want to check that out. And then let me see what else we have. I think just one other thing. Here we go. This too. Our holiday recipe guide. I just added 2 recipes to it, actually. I added a maple pumpkin sourdough loaf, which is delicious. So far, everyone who's had it has loved it. I often serve it with maple butter. So I added that and a gingerbread cookie recipe as well. But this holiday recipe ebook has quite a few recipes in it. I think you would enjoy it. And it also makes a great gift. And then I think I have one more thing. Let me see here. Maybe. Let's see. What is this? This is what's important for today. That one more thing is reVessel. So I will pull this slide up again at the end of our conversation. But here is a link to reVessel. And now I'm going to pull Jessica on, and we're going to have a chit chat about reVessel and what it is and why it is. And I have to say, Jessica Bell, well, first of all, Jessica is my dear friend from the Nashville area. And we've known each other now for 3 or 4 years, I think. But she's one of the people that I really enjoy seeing whenever I have the opportunity. So Jessica, welcome. It's nice to see you.
Oh, it's good to see you. Thank you.
Yeah. I guess I met you right at the very beginning of your putting out reVessel. I think I met you at Rory Feeks, maybe, at one of his.
I'm going to take you back a little further. I'm going to take you back to 2019. So I'm going to age both of us. I'm going to increase our relationship and almost 6 years, or at least 6 years, to Weston Price.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was in Allen, Texas.
That was in Texas. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have to first say, I'm going to be stealing that gingerbread recipe. Well, you make it available, so I guess I don't have to steal anything, but that's something we're going to be doing on Friday. I'm so excited to just be making things and be with family and get the kiddos in the kitchen. Kiddos as in almost men.
They're handsome young men.
Mm-hmm. Yep. With cousins. So thank you for putting that gingerbread recipe up. I'm sure it's cleaner ingredients and just time-tested recipes. So
I'll send it to you. I'll send you the whole thing. And I made some just about a week ago, and it was so good. Even I ate it. And I don't usually eat sweets, but it was so
you have to be convinced to do the sugar. That is true.
It has to be worth it. If it's not really high quality, good ingredients and something special, I'm not going to bother touching it. But that, I think I ate 2 cookies. I also made it a few years ago for a birthday party for a young lady who turned 13 that year. That was 7 years ago. We made gingerbread houses. And so I baked the homemade gingerbread, we cut it into shapes, and then we assembled it and made the houses. I'm hoping to do that yet this week or early next week with some of our grandchildren. I think it'll be
did you cut and then bake, or did you bake it and then cut it?
I think I cut it and then baked it. It has been a few years. I used to have a mold and I can't find it. After we moved, I've lost track of it. It's probably in a box somewhere unpacked. But I have a gingerbread house mold.
That's fun.
So it has all the pieces, and you press the gingerbread dough into that and then stick it in the oven. And that's what I did with my kids for years.
I love it. I've never even heard of that.
It was a cast iron mold, and I need to look for one because it made it really easy and fun, and it was attractive. Yeah. So yeah, you're writing it down. Yeah, we need to find it again. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it does. I don't remember where I had originally purchased mine. It was so long ago, but really a neat thing. Yeah. So I did that. And some of the parts that not parts of dough, baked dough, but some of the components that I use for assembling it go well in reVessel containers.
Oh, I could actually see using those as cutters, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. Because I can't show you the square one, which would also work well, because the square one is in my freezer holding something for Christmas time. We have all the kids. I think we'll have 27 of us plus one day the grandparents. So I've been sticking things in the deep freeze so I can pull them out when we're all together and I don't have to work as hard. But yes, this would work as a cutter, and it's just about the perfect shape.
Yeah.
Really?
Edges. So I use those edges. I love them for cracking eggs. They're just it's nice and thin, so you're not getting, kind of a totally wide rounded edge. It makes it
I'm going to show people. This is actually, I didn't mean for it to be empty, but really? I just used it. But yeah, it has a narrow rolled edge, so it works beautifully. And that rectangular container would do both sides. And then you could probably do a third, 1/3 more, and cut it in half to make the ends. And then
just think of it like a brick. Once you have the cutout, now it's like kind of like a brick or a piece of tile. That'd be so cool.
Yeah.
Just innovated. We learn so much from our friends and customers. It's so cool.
Yes, exactly. I'm still learning many things. Actually, a lot of what I do regularly these days, I wish I would have figured out many years ago, but I'm still figuring things out. I guess I'm a little slow, but I have used these for shaping other things, for other doughs and such. So yeah.
I love it for ice cubes too, like either freezing like a 2 cup. So those are pre-tared, pre-measured. So we know that's the one that you're holding is about 2 cups. And these are all 304 18-8 stainless steel. They freeze well, they bake well. So it's great for going from fridge to freezer storage to oven. But I love it for ice cubes. I did over the summer doing a lot of cantaloupe. I was growing a ton of cantaloupe.
Yes.
And then I was making cantaloupe juices like agua fresca. And then I'd have all this pulp. I'm like, okay, that pulp is not going to my chickens or not going to the compost. I'm freezing it. And it made such an awesome ice cube for, refreshing water. And then it would infuse it. So cucumber or, watermelon or cantaloupe. Those are awesome. It's not summer now. Obviously, I'm not dressed for summer.
But nor am I. I'm wearing my wool sweater that I bought in Germany last year.
Nice. But great for herbs, Well,
I was going to say that, but before we talk about all the uses, because we're kind of on a roll, I want to slow it down and I want to back up and let's talk about why reVessel. What got all of this started for you?
Oh boy. Well, I never, ever imagined that I would be in the space of designing food storage and, problem solving in the food storage space. But I was in a space where I was dealing with chronic health. I saw chronic health conditions all around me, and I was faced with some chronic disease. So, food was really important for me. I learned that food was such a huge factor. I mean, we eat 3 times a day, and most of what was available, if not cooking ourselves, is highly processed. It's contaminated with, either heavy metals or plastics or other chemicals from agriculture, And so I realized that I'd been poisoning myself for a really long time. And then I had kids, and I was, asking bigger questions about, like, what is the future of their health if, that's what they're consuming as well. So went on this journey. Why is this happening? And what do I need to do about it? It started within. So I had to make some big changes for myself. And there was a big gap, right? I didn't spend every day at home. I wasn't in a kitchen all the time. So I was out in the world and faced with, well, where am I going to get the food that's going to fuel me, that's going to fix, a lot of the dis-ease that was going on. And so I realized that there's not a lot of options. I'm not going to be near a grocery store all the time to be able to do that. Plus, if I have a grocery store, then I need to prep and be able to have, a way to prepare the food. So I became really, really good at prepping meals, and also became really good at making lunches for my kiddos. But one new challenge came along where other people in my community saw that I was making a lot of food for my family and sending them off to school. And it wasn't perfect the way that I was sending them. I was just always looking for something better. But it was kind of this final straw of now one member of my community was asking me to cook for them because they saw my children eating food that they're like, I could never get my kids to eat that food. So it was this relationship with food, but it was the question of how do I get it to where it needs to go without, contributing to leaching of chemical toxins into the food and maintaining the characteristics of the food and keeping the food from, commingling with what's next to it. And so it was finally after about 6 weeks, I was cooking for 6 families, including myself and my own, my own kiddos and my husband. And it was that moment that I had to pause. And I was just recognizing that for those that are trying to heal, they don't want to pause and stop their lives entirely. And it was the vessel. It was the how do you get back to freedom to explore and to live life and not feel like you're having to compromise. So that started this journey. We thought we were going to be able to find it. And then when we couldn't find what we were looking for, we recognized that God was forcing us to lean into something that was very scary and very big and very expensive. And, we only had one way to do it, which was bootstrap it and get really, really gritty and self-fund the company and start what we wanted to be a revolution from chronic disease to chronic health, where if our mission was fulfilled, we wouldn't be needed anymore because everybody would have access to high quality food, nutrient dense food wherever they are. So, so reVessel was born out of that.
That's a wonderful story, a wonderful basis. And I completely get where you're coming from. Our kids have mostly been at home with homeschooling, so I haven't had to pack lunches for them too often, other than the couple of years that they went to a private school. But my husband, of course, every day I have to pack him good food because he has health challenges, and we're trying to help him heal. We're trying to help his body to help itself to heal. And that necessarily involves very high quality food every single day and not toxic. So I'm not using plastic and I'm not using aluminum. That doesn't leave a lot else. There's glass, which breaks and it's heavy. So for him or for the children to carry things in glass all the time, you're going to experience some breakage, and we have.
Right.
But I will not do the plastic. I do have plastic wrap which sometimes I use, but I always put maybe a silicone liner or something between the food and the plastic. I have some silicone containers, but I don't feel real good about them. My friend Natasha Campbell McBride, when I was with her in England last fall, she was sending me home with some lardo, and she doesn't use plastic at all. She had a plastic bag, and she had wrapped the lardo in an old cotton sheet, a piece of old cotton, organic cotton sheet. And I carried that thing with me for about 3 more days before I got on the plane and flew home. That's fine, but I really wanted something that was not breakable, that was lighter weight, and that was multi-purpose as well as non-toxic. And so when you came along with reVessel, I got pretty excited, and I had my first set, and I started using it primarily for storage. But then I started thinking, and I know we had a conversation about what else you can do with it. And I'm sorry, I don't know what to do about puppy dogs. I hope they're not too distracting, but one is very energetic right now. He's like, oh, it's time to play. Let's play around. I'm going to grab something and share it with everyone, at least metaphorically, visually. Okay, so this just came out of my Breville countertop. Ooh, it smells so good. Can you smell it?
I'm trying to see what that is.
I wish you could smell it and taste it.
Looks like pizza casserole or something.
I felt like that, but that's not what it is. It is a casserole. And once it's cooled down, I'm actually going to cover it with a silicone lid. And I will put it in the freezer and save it for next week when everyone is here. And here's at least part of one meal. Not enough quite for 27 people, but
right. Yeah, you need
about to have 27 people the whole time. So I would serve this tonight for dinner if I could, but my husband can't have tomatoes. So this I made for me and some of the kids. But I want to say it's a casserole that's multi-layered, and the base layer is quinoa. Well, as I told you, I found that I can cook on my induction burners with these. So I cooked the quinoa first in this container.
Let me see the bottom. Let me see the bottom of that. Holy moly, that's amazing.
It's not induction is not radiant heat, so it doesn't do anything on the bottom. However, if you hold it sideways after you've baked it and it has yummy juices, it will run all over you and the counter and everything around. So let me stop doing that. Anyway, yeah, I know it would work on a radiant heat gas or electric as well. And I know you've talked about having done that or saying that that's entirely possible. My cooktop is induction. That's what I prefer by far over anything else I've ever used. And so you don't get any of the scorch marks or anything on the bottom. But it did cook the quinoa. I cooked it till it was just tender, and then I layered it with meat that I had prepped last week. I'll take like 10 pounds at a time of meat and mix it up and brown it and stick it in portions in reVessel containers in the fridge and the freezer. And then I pull it out and I do whatever I'm going to do with it. I layered some, I'll just show you because I can. So here is this week's allotment of ground meat, which I cooked and I'm storing in here.
Just from a volume perspective, that's almost 9 cups of food. So deceivingly high capacity. So
that's plenty for me to throw meals together, right? For 3 or 4 people at a time, multiple times a week. Now, I have more in the freezer, so when I'm doing large volumes for people coming over, which I do at least once a week, then I pull that out. And I grate my cheese instead of buying grated cheese because I don't want all the powdered cellulose and potato starch and whatever else might be there. So I grate cheese and store that in another.
You see me over here shifting. I'm just trying to make sure my power doesn't go out. It looks like that's like I'm on the fritz over here.
Oh no.
Figure out how to make sure that doesn't happen, and I can't see why this isn't charging. Oh, let's see. Excuse me.
I lost power in the middle of a summit a month or so ago.
Hey.
Okay.
Good. It's giving me a hard time. Now, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you just fine. Nothing changed.
Amazing. Beautiful.
Yeah.
Okay,
good.
Let's roll. Okay, so I love that. And then, of course, you're stacking them in the fridge or freezer, wherever.
They stack very nicely.
Yeah.
And I keep, let's see, I have pineapple in here to snack on. I send one of these filled with lardo, maybe some turkey and some goat cheese every day for George, but I'll also put a casserole type meal in these and send him off. Not that as much because usually I'm making some kind of a soup or stew and putting it in a thermos just because he doesn't have a way to heat anything up. I bake my bacon by the pound, store the fat in one of these, and store the baked bacon in one as well. And then this one had a vegetable preparation, mirepoix. So that's just part of my little conglomeration. If you guys can see it,
Look at that.
That's a few things. I've got more in the fridge, more in the freezer, and also more with my husband today while he's working. But
They're out in the world. I love it.
Yeah, I just love that I can do this. I can do the preparation in it, and then I can bake in it, and then it's done. But
That's a lot. Thank you from a seasoned culinary homemaking expert. That's some
seasoned for sure. Sometimes much.
Well, you're often educating me when it comes to the kitchen. So that was a huge part of my healing was learning to cook, right?
We learned from each other. I knew nothing when I got married. I could fry an egg and that was about it. I was not a good cook. Poor George. Poor George, but somehow he survived. I wanted to show that also you've got these lids in addition to the silicone lids. So I want you to talk about what's the difference. What's the purpose of having two different lids? I do mostly use the silicone, by the way.
Yeah, but for at home. Yeah, super functional. So the idea of a lunchbox was only just a small fraction of what we wanted to create. We wanted to make it really, really practical and solve all of the problems related to taking food away from the home. But when you come back home and say you're not going anywhere for a week or sometimes even longer, we didn't want something that just collected dust in a drawer or a cabinet. So we wanted something that could then transform into everyday use. So the bamboo lid, that is part of a leak-proof lid kit. So it takes your everyday stainless steel bases and then converts that into a leak-proof lunchbox. So you can take that wherever you go. I have that right here.
Have yours out because good. Thank you, because I left that part in my drawer. Yeah.
So the same base that you were using for your casserole, and to put that on your stove and to put that in your oven and freezer and fridge, that same base comes with the leak-proof lid kit, which incorporates the bamboo, and that is a cutting board and a tray. So you've got that built in, and then these pop off. I'll give you a little virtual demo.
Yep. I'm so glad you have that.
Yeah.
Now, okay.
You've got your lid, and then you've got all your internal containers. I don't have food in here. I'm actually near a kitchen, so I didn't need to pack up a to-go meal, but you've got different containers and you can see the containers that you're using universally fit. So whether you want to have 2 of our 1-cup containers, these have all of the tare weights, the volumes, capacity, all that good stuff underneath. Yeah. And then, so on both of them, that's upside down.
Yeah, I really like that is here. So I always can look and know exactly how much I've got in there. And I like the lunchbox. I love that. Do we want to call it an attachment or?
The leak-proof lid kit. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
So this is just a different set to turn your everyday food storage bakeware into that travel ready adventure.
I've got that for the rectangular as well as the square. Yeah. I just forgot to get it out. And I do use that sometimes when I'm on the road. George, I'm just sending him stuff in here because again, he's gone for the day. It has to be super easy. And when I say easy, the food has to be easy too, which is soup because he needs to have broth 3 times a day. Yeah. So I send him that in thermoses. What?
Your broth is the best. It's just the best. Wow. It's unreal.
Anybody can make it. It's not hard. It's just that not everybody
doesn't come out quite like yours.
Well, we will make broth when you come here in January, and I'm sure we will also be making pho because Sophie will be here, so we'll do pho.
I love Sophie.
Yeah. So do we, very much. So I think that we pretty well covered all the benefits, but I just wanted to show people that there is an alternative to the heavy glass or the toxic plastic. The Tupperware. Oh, I hate when I'm actually even seeing Tupperware at TJ Maxx and Home Goods now. And I'm thinking, haven't we learned something yet? Have we not learned anything? And
I'm seeing a huge shift in consumer demand from, okay, there's cheap and convenient. I get it. It's, low hanging fruit. I can grab it if I want to, but people are going, you know what? I'm going to invest in something that I know isn't going to make my life harder in the long run, that isn't going to shorten my lifespan, that isn't going to cause me to have to go on to medication and or have to work hard to detoxify. This is detoxification, right? It's proactive detoxification.
Yeah, by not causing toxins.
Right. So we're seeing that happen, and it's really amazing for us to say that, we needed this product for ourselves, but there's so many others that are like us. We're not a gimmick, we're not gimmicky when it comes to our designs. We really want high function. And, then we also wanted to make sure that they looked really pretty, and they created a lifestyle transforming solution, saving space in a cupboard when they're stacking up, or if you're living in a smaller space, helping you keep your cupboards more efficient. Obviously being able to be on the road and have something that you can cook in, that you can store food in. We don't go on road trips without our own food. We don't leave without packing. My son and husband just went to Dallas for hockey, and they left with pasta and pasta sauce, with chili, with bean and cheese burritos and sandwiches, all ready to go. They didn't even, food is so expensive these days, and they did not even have to go out other than one team event to get food, but they didn't have to forego being social and being together. They just didn't have to stop, wait in line, sit at a restaurant, and depend on somebody else for their food. So that made Mama feel so good. It was work, but it was also, when I sent them away with food, I also had food for the entire weekend. So I just got to bake my sourdough and be happy and inspired. try to aspire to be like Maureen with
don't be like me, be like Jessica and just learn. do as I do in always seeking to learn new things and always trying to improve on what you've been doing. That's all that I
Getting
do.
in my flow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
But this reVessel is definitely part of my daily repertoire now. I use it for so many things, and I'm planning on buying another set either right now or right after Christmas. So
I got news for you. Okay, so
tell me.
we're pretty much sold out on our website of almost every one of our products, except for I think we do have some of the 8.8 cup vessels with the silicone. So you can buy those individually or in bundles. But we're simply pre-ordering. We're doing 2 manufacturing runs a year at this point in time. So I believe January 1st is the cutoff for our pre-orders, and you also save 15% off. We are expecting that late winter, early spring, those are coming in. So we have such great testimonies from our customers who have done pre-orders in the past. Worth the wait. It's hard waiting for something. We're so accustomed to instant gratification. Like I ordered it 5 minutes ago and there's, the ding dong.
Why isn't it here yet?
It's here. Yeah, it's here. So this is not that. This is you supporting small business. This is supporting a family-owned company where innovation starts. Like these big private equity firms don't create these products and these companies themselves. They go swoop them up and then they extract and then they, demo what was originally intended. But we're trying to stay private. We're trying to stay small and maintain our values. So that's why this model is in effect for us. And then, we're actually in the manufacturing process right now. So we're working with our suppliers. We're fine-tuning things. We're fine-tuning our supply chain because that's a constant effort. And, going into this next year, 2026, we've got some new colors. So there's a lot of exciting things. We'll be revealing those. Yeah, we've got 4 new colors and our pre-order customers from the beginning helped us choose those colors. So it was good. They got to have a say.
That is really neat.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I do like supporting small businesses and family businesses. And I think so much of you that I'm happy to help support you. And I hope that our viewers will take a look at your website. I'm going to put this up again. There we go. So there is the QR code if you want that, as well as the link if you just wanted to copy and paste that. But you can go straight to reVessel with either the QR code or the other and get 15% off on your pre-order, or maybe snag up a couple of these larger ones. I want to get more of the small ones, the small square, what are they, 1 cup?
These guys. Yeah, those are so great for sauces and butters and just having them on the move constantly. Having a dozen of them would be great. We've been sold out of those for far too long. Pains me to say, but those are in high demand. Yeah,
well, for good reason. Reason.
I actually measured my flour using it today because it is 1 cup. So, if I need 4 cups of beans, I just fill 4 cups of those and then go soak my beans and I'm off and running. But it's such a dynamic tool. Yeah, it's an essential kitchen tool.
A multi-purpose tool. So very, very useful, very good. So folks, we're going to leave you with that, but we wanted to give you another fantastic gift giving idea. Even if you have to pre-order, I know that I would be super happy for someone to pre-order a set for me. I would just be counting the days until it came. But thank you, Jessica. I'm really glad that you and your husband came up with this product, that you've made it available to us so that we can have an easy, simple, compact, clean, non-toxic way of storing food and even cooking food and carrying it along with us throughout the day. So I'm going to end with that and just ask our friends to go ahead and check it out, and also check out our holiday recipe ebook and From Table to Temple event for April. Maybe we'll see you there, Jessica. What do you think? Are you going to come?
I'll have to check it out. I always love coming out that way.
Yeah, and it's going to be a really fun event with bluegrass music and yeah. So we'll talk about that later. Hang on, Jess, don't go away yet. But I'm going to say goodbye for now to everyone else, and we'll be back with more later.